You want to read some more?
All right. And welcome to Train World TV.
Thank
And
you.
we're not sure what happened there. I think I forgot the go live button, so I do apologize. I was ready, rocking and rolling, and I was too excited to press the button, so I forgot the most common step. So we're gonna try this one more time, guys, and I
No
do
one heard
apologize
anything.
about that. Yes, but
Good.
welcome to Train World TV. Sorry for the lack of intro and the I guess the instant impact of this, but thank you very much for joining us here tonight. We have a very special weekend for you. It's the O Scale Train World Virtual Week Spectacular, and we have some amazing guests here tonight, and we're really excited. And because really around this time, this is when things start to heat up, and it really kicks off the gear to train season. And we have some great, amazing guests here tonight, so we appreciate it. And I already see some comments. Jim didn't know if there was going to be a live today, but yes, there is. So sorry about that. And we're already getting some comments. Jersey, North Babylon, and yes, oh Ken, I did make a mistake, and yes, I did send out an email, but we're making it happen. But all right, so we're gonna kick things off, and I guess to the other side of me, whichever side of the computer screen you're looking at. But we have Tony Cook from Model Railroad News. How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing great, Ken. Thanks for having me. You forgot to hit the live button. You've never done that.
Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake.
Man.
Yeah.
It's Sunday afternoon. I'm sure you were watching football and you had a big lunch and you're like, oh, I got that show I got to go do. Oh,
this is why we don't cast on Sundays.
Great to be here. And yeah, this is definitely, I just got a train set from you in the last week or so, and it's in the December Model Railroad News. I'm going to share that when I get to talk here in a bit. So yes, train season is upon us. How exciting.
There you go. And Tony Cook from Model Railroad News, everybody that doesn't know. And next to Tony is Lou Palumbo. Lou, how you doing?
Good. I forgot what I said the first time. You just have to redo some of that stuff, because once it comes out, I can't put it back in. Anyhow, I'm glad to meet everybody here on the agenda here. I didn't know Tony. The other two are old cronies of mine, especially Angela. We've been doing shows forever. But anyhow, thank you for having us on, and we'll share some tidbits of information during this pep rally you're running for the train season.
You got it, Lou, and you got to be careful with that mouth. Angela is very young, and don't get in trouble this time, Lou.
Here's my train. Show me your wallet. That's what the old man told me.
All right, and we also have Hal Miller from Classic Toy Trains. How you doing, Hal?
Doing terrific. Spectacular. It feels like train season. It's gotten a little cold outside. You want to come in and start putting together a little bench work, running a few trains. So yeah, it's here.
There you go. That's true. And we even have someone from Brazil joining us. So thank you, Enzo, for joining us. We have people all over the world joining us, and it's going to be great tonight. And last but not least is Angela Trotta Thomas. How you doing, Angela?
I'm doing great. I really enjoy these videos that you do, and I'm having I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yes, and it's always a pleasure having you. And we also have Jeb Kriegel from Megasteam. He's going to join us on later today. He's actually getting ready for York. So he's packing up the trailer and getting ready. So he'll be in and be able to join us a little later. But lots to talk about, and we'll go over many things at the end and kind of just all talk and everything. But I just want to clear the schedule and get kind of tasks going on. This way we have plenty of time to talk later on, because Lou could probably spend maybe about a good 6 hours talking all night till we're blue in the face. So
Right.
we're gonna keep it on target for tonight. But first up, we have Angela Trotta Thomas, and she needs no introduction, but I just want to give a little brief recap if you don't know Angela. She is a sweetheart and just an amazing person. Her paintings, and Lou said it before earlier. She called he called her Picasso, and her paintings are just unbelievable, just really dynamite and truly unique to the train industry. And we actually do have another event with Angela Trotta Thomas coming up, the Christmas Spectacular, and that's going to be Tuesday, November 15th on at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to have Lionel as well to talk about some of their collaborations. But I'm going to kick it over to Angela now because I'm sure you want to hear more about Angela from herself. So, Angela, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Ken. That was a really sweet introduction. I appreciate it very much. And yes, I have been around a long time. I've been doing this for over 30 years now, so it's been a while. But I've enjoyed it. I'm still having a lot of fun painting these paintings and creating these memories. It never gets old. I listen to everybody that talks to me about, when they were a kid and they looked in the window at the trains and all the sort of things that conjure up the season and their love for toy trains and Lionel toy trains especially. So I really have enjoyed creating those memories and making a lifetime of my art be something that gives people, comfort and fun and happiness. And that's really my main focus. I also do a lot of other artwork other than the Lionel pieces. I'm very varied. I do portraits. I do gallery paintings. You can follow me on Instagram if you'd like to see some of the other work. It's my name, Angela Trotta Thomas Artist, and you'll see a lot of Lionel pieces, and you'll also see some of the other artwork as well. I'm busy, and I continue to stay busy, and I'm grateful for every moment of it. Basically, the things I'm going to talk about today, because we're going to be talking about a lot of fun things for the spectacular as well. So I'm going to cover some different things this time. If you look behind me on the easel, there's a painting that's half finished on the top. It's this one, that one. That's a private commission painting I'm working on for a client. And is it all lit okay? Can you see everything all right? Yeah, okay. Anyway, I do a lot of private commission work along with all the other work that you see on the products and everything else. I still do a lot of private commission work because it's kind of come full circle where people really who have followed my Lionel work for over 30 years now want their particular memory painted. So in this particular painting, and I'm going to pick it up and bring it over so you can see it closer. In this particular painting, this man, this was his engine. It's kind of not, the lighting's not great, and I apologize, but I get a lot of detail in the engine and all. Anyway, this is the paint. This is the train that his father got him when he was a little boy, his first train, and he wanted that commemorated. And you can't see it yet because I haven't done a lot of work on the tree. But the ornaments are also family ornaments that have been passed down. So he has these ornaments. They're kept in a china closet. They're very special to their family, and he has taken pictures of those and sent them to me. So I've put them on the Christmas tree. And so what I do is I kind of put puzzle pieces together of your memory or what's special to you in your life. That's pretty much how I work this. I'm going to tip this down a little bit. Let's see. Let's do that better. Yeah. And I love painting the trains and getting the sparkle. I know you really can't see it that well, but this is not finished. But it gives you a really good idea of some of the things we could do. I also do a lot of portraits. along the way of children or of you guys as children. If you send me good pictures that I can actually see your face in the pictures, that would be very helpful, because sometimes the reference is kind of tough, but because it's old, because they're all taken from the old, the old Brownie cameras and that sort of thing. And so it's really difficult to see the detail. But my idea about that is what I'm trying to do is resurrect the memory. And even if it's not an exact likeness of the person, because I'm only as good as the references, the memory is there and they can relate to the memory. So those are the kind of things that most of my private commissions are comprised of. And I work anywhere from six months to a year out. And I work directly with the clients. So they send me a lot of pictures. I send them sketches, and we work back and forth till we get it right with the client. So it can, okay. So now, feel free anytime to give me a call or email me. Anything, if you have any questions about how I do this, I'd be happy to go over the whole process and send you whatever you need, and you send me what I need, and we'll work together to make it happen. Also, one of the other things I wanted to talk about today is over the years, I'm going to move around a little bit in here because I want to bring things up. Over the years, there's been 3 consistent paintings that I've done years ago. Let's see, how's that? Better? Okay, I'll put it to that. That people have responded to and constantly ask me if I still have the print, and I don't. The lithographs were sold out years ago. But what I've done is I've reissued the image on a canvas Giclee print, which is what I want to show you. This painting, it comes all finished like this. It's finished on the side. So you can hang this without framing it. And that's the beauty of these. By the way, they're limited to 50 artist proofs, and that's all that I'll do with these. You can hang them directly, or you can frame them in a frame, the standard size. They're all standard size prints. So you can buy a frame in Michael's or Hobby Lobby or any place like that, and it will work out perfectly fine for these pieces. So that might be something that would be. The old lithographs that I used to do were on paper, and they had to be mounted, matted, framed under glass. It was much more complicated. This is so much easier. Plus, they're so much more vibrant and fun. And these are the other 2. This is Madison Hardware that's available now as one of these prints. Again, finished on the back, can be hung as is or framed in a standard size frame. And sorry about that.
Oh no.
There, no, it's fine. And they're not breakable either.
On cue.
And High Hopes. This is another one that's been really asked for many, many times over the years. So they're on my site. And my site is just my name, AngelaTrottaThomas.com, and you'll see, if you click on paintings, you'll see Lionel train paintings. And then if you go down in the menu, you will see Lionel prints. And that's where these pieces are available. So basically, those are the 2 things I really wanted to cover today. I basically, also, I do want to talk a little bit more about, and we'll get much more into it in the spectacular, but I want to talk a little bit more about all the artwork that I've been working with Lionel over the years. And I can't even say how delighted I am that this has come full circle with that as well, where I do a lot of artwork. The piece that you see on the wall back here, well-stocked shelves, that piece has ended up on many of the box cars. It comes in, there's 3 different ones that are all 3 shelves. Lots of fun to work with them, and also a lot of my old paintings that I had done before I started working with them have become comparable to the memories that you're still sharing, and they work on the box cars as well. So you'll see a lot of those on my wall up here. We keep a lot of trains in my studio. This is my studio cleaned up for today because it never really looks like this. But I do try to, one of these days, maybe I'll leave it as it is and then you'll go, oh, but I try to keep things as neat as I can, but it's hard. We have trains all over the house basically, but this is my studio and there's always a lot, they switch back and forth from whatever I'm working with and working from. So I'll just show you really quickly a quick detail on how I start these pieces with Lionel. And I don't know, I would assume, I think Ken probably still has this product. It's not this year's. I think it's the year before. The GG1 and the Hudson. So what I do when I work with Lionel is I will come up with a design that works with the proportions of the boxcar. I usually almost always give them, when I'm painting, a lot more sky and a lot more base, so that they can kind of wiggle them around and make them work in the best proportion to the car itself. But I make sure that it will work before I actually paint the painting. And then these end up being this. So that's how it starts. It always starts with that pencil drawing. And I work with, again, Lionel. We get it all approved, and everything that works in it will work well with the box car. This is part of the iconic series that I've been doing for the last, I guess maybe about 4 or 5 years, and it's done so well. And of course, there's so many iconic engines that can be. There's one of the new ones, and I don't have the pencil sketches with that right now, but it's one of the new ones. That is a, it's hard to see. Wait a minute. I think that.
Sorry, I was muted.
Okay.
I just wanted to show real quick. Just this is the aquarium car, and then you got the Blue Comet,
right,
and then the GG1.
Right, and that's and that's why I was going to say, Ken, you still have product, I would assume, with the
yes.
Okay, so
yes,
then they are available. I never know which ones are sold out. There are some that are sold out, but these were relatively new, so you might still have product on that, which is terrific. And then the new ones that are coming out this for 23 is, well, actually this is 22, which Ken just showed you. And I've already done the artwork for 23, and that's all been approved. And I can't tell you what it is, but I think you're going to like them. There'll be 3 new products coming out next year. So again, I couldn't be more pleased that this has come to fruition, and I enjoy working with the company so much. They're wonderful to work with. One other thing I wanted to tell you about, and I'm sure maybe Hal might have a few words to add to this. Every year we do a very elaborate train layout in our garage for the neighborhood children, for our neighborhood holiday festival. And it is incredibly attended. And a lot of my artwork is behind it. It's really a fun time, and it stays up for a while because we get people coming, up till Christmas. Classic Toy Trains is going to be doing a special.
Well, we'll have a feature story on it in the January-February 2023 issue. So that will be out right around Christmas time, and you'll get to see plenty of Christmas fun at Angela's house.
Well, and I'm so excited about it because my husband, Bob Thomas, Joe Sadorf, and Wayne Strobel they are starting it already now. So they will work continuously between now and the festival, which is December 11th this year. And it's amazing what they put together, and it fills the entire garage. So we do it out that way because what they do is they they bring a wagon, like a Christmas sleigh wagon, around for the children to come in, and we have hot chocolate, and we do candy
Very
cane,
nice.
all that sort of thing, and I even put a Santa hat on. So it's a fun day. It really is a fun day, and I kind of like that. My husband's whole office is filled with trains. My studio is filled with trains. But that is the layout that we do, and it changes, which is kind of fun. This year, I think we're going to do a Frozen theme. We just got the Frozen set from Canon. It's adorable. So we're going to kind of have the Ice Mountain and all that sort of thing. So we kind of try to change it up every year so that it's interesting to come back to, and kids love it. They love it. The adults love it. The parents love it. The grandparents love it. It's a great time, and that's sort of how we do our training every year anymore, since we downsized and came to Charleston, South Carolina. But anyway, please follow me if you can on Instagram or Facebook. On Instagram, it's again Angela Trotta Thomas Artist. I have about 2 or 3 different accounts, but the artist one is the one that has all the work, and I do a lot of reels, and I show how I actually paint these paintings. So it's kind of fun to see what goes into them in real time. So please visit, and feel free to reach out and ask me any questions of anything you might be interested in. And there's a reel here. This top one there is a reel showing that I paint how I paint the engine. So I try to keep it interesting and reach as many people as I possibly can. So please visit and feel free to reach out. And again, I couldn't be more grateful for all of you, because this has become my career's life work, and I'm very proud of it, and I'm grateful. I think that's about all I have to say today. I'm trying to stay on track here with time. So if you have questions, I don't know if there's a way to ask questions in this, but feel free to call me if you have other questions. I'd be happy to chit chat with you. And thank you again for always being there for me for now over 30 years.
No problem. Take your time, Angela, if you need more time. But I just wanted to chime in. I did see a question when you asked, and if I could actually help answer it. Someone asked about the process about going back and forth on the art side. Well, this is more for a boxcar, but Angela was. We're very fortunate to have Angela actually do a work for us, and I just want to talk about our experience, how pleasant it was. It was really an unbelievable experience, and yes, and you have the boxcar as well. So too, we basically gave Angela a picture of our old store, and she did an amazing design for our boxcar, and also a painting that she did for us. And it was just an amazing process. And yes, there are back and forth where you say, oh, can you add this? Can you do this or whatever? And Angela is always just an amazing artist, but you don't even need to tell her anything. She just envisioned something, and it just came out beyond our wildest dreams. And I know if my grandfather was still around today, he would be so proud, and he would love the painting and the boxcar. And it's truly one of those even though we have many trains in our building, the painting and about this boxcar are so sentimental to our family now, and it just really means a lot. And you see the painting behind Angela, where she's talking about this gentleman's first engine. And Christmas time, I mean, trains has so many great stories, whether it's your first train, or maybe your first family member of a Christmas train. I'm sure Luke has many memories and many customers who's had these experiences. So really, Angela is not just an artist. She encompasses the memories and a lifetime of traditions. It's just truly remarkable. So she does a great job. And here's her Instagram page, and it's the Angela Trotta Thomas artist, and she does some great stuff now, reels and just some beautiful stuff. And at trainworld.com, we also do carry all the Lionel trains, and you could sort by road name. We have her own section, Angela Trotta Thomas. And as you could tell, there's tons of box cars, a building, just tons of new arrivals. So a lot of great stuff you could choose from.
Thank you. Yes, we do a lot of back and forth talking and work. I do work the same way with Lionel as I work with a commission. I basically try to keep the client happy. I have to say, Lionel has let me run with it. They really have trusted my judgment on a lot of things. I get involved in the colors and everything else, and it's been a wonderful collaboration. And I think Lionel's pleased too. So I'm certainly delighted. But I do work hard to make everyone happy when I do any work, any commission work. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Angela. You're always a delight, and we always appreciate you being on as a guest. And everybody truly enjoys your artwork and boxcars. And we are having Angela back on, so mark the calendars. She'll be on with Lionel, and that is going to be Tuesday, November 15th, and it's going to be the Christmas Spectacular, showcasing Angela Trotta Thomas's the artwork, and also the Lionel boxcars, buildings, and all the accessories that she makes. So it's going to be some great stuff. Now, moving on with the schedule, I wanted to have some of the greatest magazine companies that are in our industry today. And I truly believe the magazines were like the heart of our industry growing up. And, we have a huge collection of magazines of all different ads, and it just goes back so many years. So, Tony, why don't you cook it off? Start it off with Model Railroad News.
Thanks, Ken. That's all. That was really awesome to get to hear Angela talk to us and tell us on how the paintings come together that I didn't realize on the commission work, taking the vintage photographs and things to put together. And that is when you talk about magazines, and I think Hal Miller would agree with me. One of the things, certainly with like his classic toy trains, HO Collector that I do for smaller trains, it is all about memories. I mean, that our hobby, as much fun as it is with playing with trains, I think it's that connection of what you had when you were a little kid, what your parents, brought you up with on train stuff, that memories and that nostalgia is such an important part of the hobby in general. I mean, don't you think, Angela, that's what you see from the people that
Absolutely. And some memories are the ones I continually hear, like going to the department store window, playing with the trains under the tree when the father doesn't really let the child really run everything. These are the kind of memories and if I hear them enough, I feel like they're a classic enough memory that many people will relate to them.
Exactly.
And that's been my guiding force about what the subject matter in these paintings has been is all of you and what you say to me and what you tell me and the memories that you conjure up, that my paintings conjure up for you.
And that is, I absolutely agree. I don't know how many times I hear, oh, there was this hobby shop in my hometown, or my grandfather would take me out to watch trains. You hear the same thing so often that we all have that same experience. But
right.
Yeah.
Right.
What I wanted to share, I got a train set in the last week or so from Train World. And I was talking with Ryan at Lionel, and as Angela says, I love working with the Lionel folks, especially Ryan is a great guy. And I want to show S scale. Let me bring up my share the screen here. And because Ryan said, oh, good, the S guys will be very happy because they feel like, they They don't get that fair shake all the time. But so this
They're
is
going to be ecstatic, Tony. Every time we have a live stream, when are you guys talking about us? When are you talking about us?
Exactly. So when I mentioned I was going to talk about that, he's like, "Oh, good," because the S guys are always on my case. This is a new set that just came out. I got it from Train World in the last month. This is a preview. This will be in the December Model Railroad News. This was part of, I think it's the 75th anniversary for the Gilbert American Flyer line that Lionel did some commemorative things. You see Gilbert and the 3/16 scale markings there on the set box. And this is GP7 in Texas and Pacific in Swamp Holly Orange. Am I correct on that, Hal? I've got to do a little more work on my TNP stuff. I know they had light blue and it's orange, but it looks gold or yellow to me. But I guess that is Swamp Holly Orange.
Yeah, it depends. Can you guys hear me? I just put it in
yes.
my headset. Okay,
yes.
Yeah, Swamp Holly Orange, definitely a TNP color.
Classic, yeah.
It was a little orange, and it's funny. The only thing we really have to go on these days is old Kodachrome. So those may have shifted, and they definitely look sort of orange.
But this set was, in fact, I do a quarterly column in Railroad Model Craftsman, the Collector Consist, and I'm picking out for the December edition classic train sets. And I'm doing a variety of different scales and different years all over the place on about a half dozen. And I did this a handful of years ago and was some classic train sets. And then I'm doing this more classic train sets following in that Beebe and Clegg over the photographers. That had the books on more classic trains, some classic trains. So I'm kind of doing the same thing with train sets. And I'll be covering it's a mid-50s American Flyer set that was lettered and decorated like this. So I assume that was part of what the lure was for Lionel doing this now. And here's the set. The set comes with no track, Ken. This is a true train set, which I love because then not everybody's going to pick on me for taking it out of the box because it's got no tracker power pack. This is it is a deluxe freight set. You get the operating log dumping flat car, and look at the cool TNP logo embossed on the metal bed of the log dumper. It does have the Flyer Chief. The remote comes with the locomotive, so it's all ready to go. The caboose is lighted. And then that Missouri Pacific Eagle boxcar, which was another reason I had to have this set, has got the freight sound system. You see the two controls on the bottom of it. So this is 2-rail S, and you get everything in the box in individual boxes, which I love too. I mentioned that in the one caption up there. You see the blue and yellow boxes. Everything is labeled as if it was like an individual release. So this is a new set that just came out. I assume you still have. I hope you still have stock on these. I know I reserved it way back when it was announced, but this is going to be in December's Model Railroad News. And then the other thing I wanted to share, I will do some and this is our Railroad Model Craftsman publication. And Hal, have you been to James U. Daly's Railroad in Kansas City?
No, that railroad to me is like the Mount Olympus of O gauge or O scale. I mean, it is fantastic.
Isn't it? Yes. This is our publisher at White River, Kevin U. Daly. This is his father, James, does Chesapeake and Ohio. It's like late steam, early diesel. You see here's an E unit with a passenger train. This is the cover of, I think it's the September. So it would be out probably still on newsstands or at your hobby shop. You could find it. September's Railroad Model Craftsman. First time I saw this railroad, I was just so blown away by it. It's in a building behind their house. It's all scale O, and it is done in this kind of fall look to some of the colors, all O scale, and it's got grades and everything. The railroad really, you have to work to run it. That is Kevin's brother's lawn there in operating, but an amazing O gauge or O scale railroad. It's 2-rail O, but that is in Railroad Model Craftsman right now. And I'll put in one plug because I never do. I always forget to plug things, and I should more. But we just have launched a digital app, Ken, and I wanted to tell everybody about it. We're going to have, it's a digital membership, so it would be like having Netflix, but for the publications. So right now we're beta testing it. You can become a beta tester with a free digital membership. I think we're planning to do this into the first quarter of 2023. and you basically can set up a membership. You can see back issues like HO Collector. The entire run is back for the whole 6 years. So once you sign up for a membership, you can go and look at every issue of HO Collector we've done. Like I do Diesel Era. We've got the stuff we've done for it for the last couple of years. Model Railroad News, I think we're back at least 10 years on it. So a great archive and a great resource. It's all set up so it works on smart devices. You can also do it on the web here yet. I have not done it yet. I'm too busy getting the magazine done to get to look at the magazine, I guess. But anyhow, we've just launched this, and this is new and free right now to beta testing. So go to shop.whiteriverproductions.com and you can check out some of these things that I talked to you about. And as I say, the American Flyer set's not going to be out until the December edition, and that's well, it's sooner than we think. I can't believe it's already mid-October. Where is the time going? But yeah, that'll be out in beginning of November. Our December issue should be hitting newsstands and such with the American Flyer, and I have a couple other train sets in it as well. So, and as always, fantastic service from Train World. Showed up, packaged, perfect. Nothing is more exciting than seeing Train World New York on the return address. I'm like, oh, what did I get? What I like to is I will order and reserve enough stuff I forget at times, and I don't always pay attention as the emails are coming in. So it is kind of I can't wait to open this because I'm not sure what it is. So yeah, it's neat stuff.
That's awesome. Cool. And I know the Flyer guys will be really excited to see that. And this is the Model Railroad News. This is the October edition. Don't have November yet, but excited to grab it. But that Flyer set is actually really interesting. There's still a lot of collectors in Flyers, and they love that high end stuff. So it's a really cool new age freight set of the Texas and Pacific set. So really neat.
Awesome.
Very cool. All right. Thank you so much, Tony. Great stuff. And check that article out in Model Railroad News. Looking forward to seeing it. And Lou, I know you had that football game, and you may have been late or not coming on, but we got you.
Thank you. Yeah, I watched the ball game, and I told you ahead of time if it was a good game, I might be a little late to this deal. But the fact is, it was a bad game, so I was glad to get the hell out of there and come in there and talk with you folks and hear what new you have. Yeah, I've been around a long time, maybe too long, but the fact is, it's a lot of fun. I started the late 70s when I found out Lionel was being remade again. When I collected it back in the 50s, it went out of business in the 60s. I went to college and got married and forgot about trains. In the meantime, I heard about the Lionel being produced again by General Mills. Is that what it was? MPC, Model Plastic Corporation, they called it. And they put out the early runs of the 70 trains, were quite junky at first. But the fact is, I was glad to see that the hobby had been renovated by this. And that's what really kicked off a lot of the baby boomers, which were my age in their 30s then, that we were starting to collect trains. And that really fueled the whole deal. That's what I feel. I got to give General Mills credit for giving that input, because then there were only some renegade train shows tossing around the old trains that were left over. With this new blood in the 70s, it led for a lot of people joining the hobby. They wanted good running new stuff. And I started then, but in the meantime, I did put ads in the paper because I went to the first train show in probably 76 or 77 at the Greenberg show in Pittsburgh. My buddies took me. I had no idea that these trains were still available. I thought they were gone, thrown away, put in the dumpsters, and mine was still packed up in my house because Mom saved everything. I got my baseball cards. God bless her. She did not throw any of my stuff away. And I inherited that hoarding gene from her because I hoard everything now. But I went back, got my train. I had an American Flyer set at first. So I attended this train show, but I always wanted a F3 Santa Fe engine and Lionel. I liked it because I saw it. I liked the way the front pilot truck moved when I went around. I said, boy, I'd really like to have one of those. But then it was $100 back in the 50s, and I didn't even mention it to my father about $100 for a train because I would have had to look for my life then. But the fact is, he said, you have a train, you have a football, you have a bicycle. What the heck else you want? All right, then I'll leave him alone. But I would get different things and start collecting. But the first thing I did buy back in the 70s when I went to that train show was a Lionel F3 Santa Fe. Well, I brought that home and I was happier than a pig in doo doo because the fact is, I shined it up and I had some track because I had an old Lionel train that I collected somewhere and I put it on the track and all night long I made that thing go around and I was looking at it. It just 1952 came alive for me. And that's the memories of the whole thing. There's the secret right there. I see it every day. 40 years I've had this train store. It'd be 38 years. I made a train store at the Underground Railroad because after I was buying and selling, I would put ads in the paper, and for $200 I could fill my car up with trains. People would just give them to you. Good post-war stuff. I really got a large collection by doing that, but I had a lot of leftovers, so I started to attend train shows because that's all there was, how to move the trains. One year, I think in the early 80s, I attended 26 train shows. That's like one every other week. My poor wife. But the thing is, I made money doing it, and a lot of the money I put aside to help put the kids in college. But the fact is, most of it went back to my trains. I bought the collection, and I kept on hoarding. And, well, to make a long story short, which I'm not really good at, I can't make a long story. I've known Angela Thomas for 40 years. I was there when she first started. I bought, in fact, I want to share this with her. My family room, we just bought another house, a new house, a ranch. I wrote about it in the magazine. But there's 8 of her pictures in my family room.
Oh.
8 of the ones that I've collected. It's filled up. I have that, and they're all the early ones. I was one of her best customers. I bought one of everything. In fact, most of them have the same lot number on them. And I bought some of the ones she showed, and I have some down the store. I have them all over the place. But the fact is, I like them. You go in the room, and it's warm. You don't have, guys with one eye and stuff, them Picassos and all that stuff, the real Picasso on hand. And that my son's an artist. They like that stuff, but I like something I can see, I can think about, and everybody else likes it too. They come in our room, they see all these little kids looking at trains and trains themselves, and I also put in that room a large. This is something you think about. My cellar was full of trains, and every time someone would come, let me see your trains. I'd walk around hundreds of trains all over the walls, on the shelves, and everything. There's nothing more boring than going and seeing somebody's trains. It's like inviting someone over and showing them 5 hours of home movies. They'll die on a chair before they see them all. But the fact is, I have an 8-foot oak shelf built in steps. There's 15 shelves, and I put some of my favorite trains in that. That's all I have on display. They aren't the most valuable trains. It makes a nice display. It's lighted. It's glass. It's 8 foot by 7 foot high and 8 foot wide. And there's a lot of trains in there. There's 15 rows of them. And people come and they see that, and that's it. There's a train. They go, oh, that's nice. And then you sit down. We start talking and drinking wine or whatever. But the fact is, the pictures and the trains, that does a whole nice warm feeling for my family where I spend most of my time watching television. That's what you do when you get old. You watch television. When I was young, I never watched the station. I was always down in the store. I spent all my time. I didn't know one show from another. Now I'm seeing them all in reruns. But the fact is, the memories of trains, and one other story I will share, maybe more. But the thing is, This week or 2 weeks ago, a fellow brought in an engine. He said, "I want you to restore this, fix this engine." It was all in parts. There's no front truck on it. It was a 736, but it looked like it had been dragged here. He put it on a rope and dragged it here from his house on the end of his car. It was all beat up and everything. I said, "You know what? By the time I fix this, I'll just sell you another one cheaper, just like it, but nice. I have one in the case." "No, I want that one. That's the one Dad had." I said, "Well, you know what? We're gonna have to repaint it for starters." Well, anyhow, we did it. We painted it, put a new tender on a shell on it, and he got that engine, and you'd think his dad came to life again. He was looking at that, tears come down his eye. He said, "This is what it was when I had it when I was young. My dad had it. It was his engine, and I'm going to have this." I said, "It runs good." He said, "I'm not going to run it. I'm going to put it on a shelf behind my desk. And every time I look at it, I'll see Dad." And this is the memories a stinking little toy brings. And we deal in this every day. And this is part of the lifeblood of our hobby. And when they say that what's going to happen in this hobby, there's no young people in this hobby, there are a lot of young people in this hobby. There are kids that someday they're going to get our stuff. And maybe if we've instilled the right values, they'll say, "This was Dad. He collected this in the 80s or the 90s, back when we're long gone." But the fact is, it's a subject, it's a piece of memory that people have, and we deal in that. And so I don't worry about it. They ask me what's going to happen to the train. I said it's going to always be here. I wrote a story about where have all the Lionels gone. It's one of my stories I've written, and the basic story was it's like the song "Where have all the soldiers gone." They gone to flowers everywhere. The Kingston Trio did it, but I made the analogy of trains. That the trains came, they were here in the 50s, then they were all put in shelves, put away in attics and upstairs, dusty and everything. Then the army came, which was us, resurrected the trains, put them on shelves, painted them up, put them in nice display cabinets and everything, treated them like gold. Then, when we're gone, those things went back in the shelves and back in the attics. They're gone. Sometimes they're going to come back. Where have all the Lionels gone? They've gone to children everywhere. And that was the story. If you get a chance, you read that, and it tells you about the whole what's happening to our train. Nothing's happening to it. It's going to be here. These trains aren't going to rot and go away. There's so much of them out there now. You couldn't get them away, throw them away if you wanted to. There's tons of them. We did that, and it's a mark of our generation. And I think that I was lucky, and I am lucky to be part of it, and so are all of you. Uh, some of the memories I have of Pete Bianco, his grandpa, Charlie Rowe now, they were all the young Turks when I was coming on selling meat trains. They were crooks too. I'll tell you what, you never know what you're going to get from them. He would shake your hand and give you a train and grab your wallet. They're all great friends of mine. Over the years, and I can remember Kenny's dad. They were like the Gavones. They'd come back in Naples. They call the Gavones. They would come from Naples to Rome. The guys would, the kids would be tied together with ropes because all the poor people from Naples would go to Rome to beg, and they'd have 6 or 7 kids with a rope tied, each one of them following like horses, and they call them Gavones because the Gavone means rope. Here comes these Gavones coming. They're coming. Well, anyhow, Kenny's Jr., Kenny's dad, and Paulie, and even Anthony a little bit. After the train show at York, they would come with a wagon, following Pete, and people would come to my table and buy everything. "Sure," I said, "you're going to buy these. You're going to sell it to New York prices, giving me nothing." But I was happy for him to come because he unloaded all the stuff that I would get for cheap in the eastern part, in the western part of the state. But they would come, and he'd come with the wagon, load it up. He would throw the money out, and we'd pay, and everybody was happy. But these are happy memories we had, and I have a Pete and a lot of the other guys. And yes, Angela, I remember when you were just a fledgling painter. at the shows, peddling your wares. Now you're a big time operator, and I'm proud of you, happy for you.
Oh, you're
Because long way, but I have the original ones at my house, and I don't want your canvases. I like mine.
well. You know what? I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that they have spurred so many conversations over the years. That's what it's all about. Because I found that people respond to them even if they're not train collectors. They're still tapped some of the same sort of memories that they had back in the 40s and 50s and all, so they become conversation pieces, and that makes me really happy. People tell me all the time that there's details in my painting that they don't see at first, and then the more they look at it, the more new things they find. So that makes me happy too. So
No, they're good. They're warm. They're nice, and people like them.
thank you very much.
Well, that's all I got to say, Kenny, because I could talk for the rest of the afternoon. If you want me.
And Lou, don't you have another book signing you're doing?
Yeah, I forgot. I got to fill my wares too.
Yeah.
I'm not like Mr. Ange and these other guys. I'll hold some stuff up too.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I wrote 2 books. This is thanks for reminding me. My mind's not like I forget shit. Anyhow, what I do is I wrote a book. I never met a train I didn't like, and that was the first book I wrote about 12 years ago. This is it. Can you see it?
I see a handsome guy on there. Is that you?
That's my younger brother. That's me. Shut up. Anyhow, this is the first book, and it's about stories about train collecting and everything. It's a nice book. This is the views from the underground, and this is the first book. So way more than I ever thought I would. It's about the 4th or 5th publication I got of that, and the second book came out about 5 years ago, back in the day. That's this one here, and that's me and my grandson in my kitchen. And this is a story of growing up in the 50s, plus still stories of trains, too. This is Views from the Underground, my logo. But Classic Tour Trains wouldn't put this on my magazine because, I like that little guy right there.
Mm-hmm.
Look, that's me underneath the ground store cover, finding out what's going on in the train world. And you find all the information, views from there. Well, Classic Tour Trains didn't want to use that. They said because I used it in another publication, and they might come down. Who's going to sue you for my picture? I said, well, people.
You can never tell. You're a man in demand.
Yeah.
And
this is the other one. This is the video. This is good. There I am looking at the. Somebody said I look like a pervert. Looking at the little puppet. That's my caboose, and this is a video. So I was peddling these at York as a trilogy, the trifecta. These things you can buy for like $12.50 a piece, and then $30 you get them all. Well, anyhow, that's gone now because I'm writing another book. The last book is going to be the third of the books, and it's going to be titled. I got the title. I always write all my articles. I write the title first, then the article. That's not what the real journalists do. They write an article and they let some editor pick a title. I said, no, I'll pick a title and then I'll write the article because I got to make the article relate to the title. This title of this book is 70s Not So Good Unless It's Your Golf Score. and that's what I'm going to title because 7 years ago, I turned 70. And I got to hurry up and write the article before I turn 80, if I even get there. But the fact is, all the stories about becoming 70, and a lot of them are health related, but there's a lot of social things in there, and they're all short stories. They're 500, 600 words per story. I like to write short stories because you don't know if you're going to live to see the next page. So I write them. People like it. I think ministers and preachers should take a note of this, that they should make their stories and they're short and to the point and have a punchline that might be a little bit funny. And after each one of our stories in the 70s book, there's going to be a one-line joke of all the of good one-liners. Henny Youngman, Don Rickles, anybody else, they're going to have one-liners in there. So after you read the story, you're going to get a little laugh. And I think that's the way I'm writing this next book. Hopefully, it'll be done by the next York show. I'm shooting for the next April show, and I'll have it done. And there'll be a lot of fun to read it. And a lot of the people uh, that you know that are they'll like this book. My public is all in this age bracket. I do have a lot of the younger guys read it. They say that's pretty good, but they don't understand what I write. The boys I write to are the guys that were born after 1944 and up. That's when 1945 the baby boomers started. They start keeping track of them. They were born after the war. Now that group was so many, they floated along and they did everything. So when they started collecting trains, that was a good group to write to. So that's why my writings get a lot of I get a lot of response on it. And Hal may or may not tell you, but I'm probably the most popular guy in that magazine. I know.
By far, he is the most popular guy in that magazine.
I hear.
Although he's rivaled only by Roger Carr.
Listen,
but it's a close one too. Yeah, right. Exactly.
He's my partner. I like Roger. I love that man, and we go good together. Don't go dumping him. You keep him on board.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, listen, that's about it. Come and buy the books. You can send. I'll give you. They're $12.50 a piece. $12.95. You get 2 for $25, and I'll throw in a video for $10.
Wow, you can't even beat that. Look at that deal.
No, these are nice.
That's a good deal.
Anybody that knows anything about trains should own these. These should be like the Bible. And then pretty soon there'll be the third one.
And Lou, are you still doing autographs like last year? A lot of people actually wanted your autographs if they ordered it the next day.
What do you mean argue? They do. They give.
I know.
I sign it on pieces of paper. I sign it on clocks, and I sell.
I know.
I've signed it on boxcars.
That's right.
Who the hell was my? I said, okay, here, give me the Sharpie, and I put it on there. But I've had a great time with this hobby. I tell you what, I thank God for it every day, and I'm lucky to have it, to do it, and have so many great people to share it with. And I'm in all sincerity. Most of the train guys, there's a lot of goofballs, but most of them are nice guys. Most of them are nice guys. Believe me when I tell you. I tell the people, don't let that guy bother you. He's one of a few. And I throw him out of here once in a while. But the fact is, most of the guys I meet are here for the heart, and they really they like what you like, and that's what I like about it.
That's awesome, Lou, and that's why we love you. You're straight, no filter. That's it. Here's Lou, and you got him. And
here, I don't have whitewash.
Lou,
well, thanks a lot, Kenny. I'll stick around if you have any more questions. But I want to hear what these other guys, especially Mr. Miller, I want to hear what he has to say.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Lou. Do appreciate it, and looking forward to reading your book as well. So I hopefully you could sign a copy next time I see you.
70's not so good unless it's your golf score.
There you go. All right, then Hal from Classic Toy Trains. Hal, and I guess so. We were going to do this the opposite way, where you go first and then Lou kind of piggybacks onto an article that you guys wrote about, one of our good friends. But Lou always likes to be the center of attention and likes the longest amount of time. So we're trying to honor his request.
I'll still butt in. I'll butt into his thing about Lenny. If you want to talk about Lenny, I'll help.
And Lou is the straw that stirs the drink. So he's got to go right in the middle. And I'm kind of glad to go last actually, because I've got sort of all the maybe I can tie up a lot of the threads today.
Yeah.
And Angela, I hear you. about cleaning up your office. That's why I look like I'm in witness protection program here. You know, my background blurred. But I didn't quite get to
That might
mine.
be my next move.
And just before you jump in, Lenny Carparelli is a great friend of our family, and he's a great person. And I always see him at York. And even though I'm a young guy, Lou, Angela, a lot of these people I always meet at York, and I look forward to it. And I've kind of grown up with all these figures in my life, and because of train shows, and it truly is a great thing. And when I saw this article about Lenny, I was really excited, and I sent him an email. I was very happy for him, because he does some great work and painting, and he has some amazing stories. And I wish I could get him on. He always turns me down. So hopefully one of these days we could get him on here.
That's hard to believe. He does. And actually, I've only crossed paths with Lynn at one York show. The only time I've ever met him, and I feel like I've known him for 30 years. Because of all the stories, and just a great guy. If I might, can I drive for a minute, Ken?
Yeah.
Go. Let's see if I can share my screen here.
You gotta do the present on the bottom.
Right. Share screen. Hey, there we go. All right. So you can see Lynn's cover here. This is a custom set of F3s that Lynn painted in General Motive Electromotive Division demonstrator paint scheme, and was kind enough to let us use for the November-December cover. We also, of course, wrote the story about him. You can see it on trains.com if you have access to the archive. 50 years of doing this, it's painting locomotives. That's a lot of locomotives. And they look fantastic, and he's really one of the last ones in the business. There's not many people doing this, and he's kind of the high art of this. You can see Ruth Ann in there, of course, and also some locomotives that were painted for Neil Young, or a locomotive that was painted for Neil Young. And while I have the screen up here, Angela's, let's go to the shameless hucksterism portion of our show here. Angela's calendar with her artwork is available at Kalmbach Hobby Store, as is the well-stocked shelves puzzle. So if you need a project for that cool day that's coming up, and many of them are, unfortunately, there's a couple of them for you there. But the other thing we have that's coming up, and this gets back to Lou and the trains, Lionel of the 1940s, and this covers a period in Lionel's time that was really kind of pivotal with World War II. Of course, Lionel made some products for the military during World War II and could not really produce trains, I believe 1943 and 44. And this talks all about what they were doing in the 1940s, including the introduction of the Berkshire and, of course, Lou's favorite, the F3 Santa Fe. So that should be out November, around Thanksgiving. And I will quit sharing my screen at this point. But yeah, Lou, you were talking about the General Mills trains, the MPC era, and young people being in the hobby, and they all kind of fit together, at least from where I'm sitting right now. What we're seeing is some relatively younger guys whose dads were in the hobby in the 70s, and that's what they know. Some post-war, but that was when they were coming of age and having trains was when what's in the MPC stuff was out. So as a consequence, they've shared that stuff with their kids, who are now anywhere from 25 to 35 years old, and they've gotten the collector bug, and that stuff's inexpensive, relatively speaking, to collect. And they've become collectors and runners of that stuff, and that has launched them into bigger and better. And so, there's still a lot of value, I think, in those trains that were made in the 1970s. They, while maybe not, I got to choose my words carefully here.
Don't worry about it. You don't have to choose your words carefully.
They were probably not as durably made as the ones, the post-war trains, and certainly don't have the bells and whistles that the modern trains do. But they had their own cachet and still do. They're good to run. They are still good runners in a lot of cases. So yeah, those guys are coming around, and God bless them. We're seeing them on YouTube. And a few of them are starting to write for Classic Toy Trains, and I am eager to get more of them in there. While we love the classics, we also like to have some stuff that's certainly up to date and modern, and they know it. They are very adept with it and with the technology, and I think they're keeping the hobby going. So yeah, it's I can't wait for Christmas. The sets that are coming out, we're starting to see them in the stores, and we're going to have some projects. Classic Toy Trains has got a project layout that's going to be on trains.com. We're actually going to be doing it more or less live the week after Thanksgiving, so tune in for that. And we've got some other things going on with trains.com, some surprises that hopefully will be out before the end of the year, and certainly early in 2023, if not. So, Tony and I were talking earlier. We used to have sort of a lull during the summer, maybe to kind of catch our breaths with things, but we've lost that in the train business and in the media business. It is 24/7 trains right now, and that is a good thing, I think. Kenny, you can certainly chime in on this. I hope your business indicates the same thing.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, it's definitely a different time. There's no relaxation. You have to be constant 24/7, and everybody's posting something or making. Angela's making a reel or a video. Tony's doing an event. Hal's doing a pre-recorded YouTube video or something like that. There's so many different segments and pockets and ways to kind of like obtain trains. Instead, years ago, it really just was the magazines, but now it's magazines, it's videos, it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and all these different things that nobody's ever heard of. And so it's definitely, it's a lot of information, which is great for the hobby. There's new ways that anyone could kind of stumble upon trains and get into the hobby. So, it's really great that there's all these new channels that
Yes.
our industry can really showcase why this hobby is so great. And Angela Trotta Thomas, I'll just use you as an example. Your Instagram channel. Angela has been going to trade shows for many years, and she still does, and it's great. But now with this Instagram, she's showing a portion of her paintings, and someone who may stumble upon it through Instagram may now get into trains or get into her paintings or get into Lionel. So it's just unbelievable how there's so much content out there, and it's really a great thing for the hobby. And the train industry itself will never die. Magazines will never die. It's just a supplement. Everything is just growing at a rapid pace where everybody wants to learn more, to
Right.
see more, to hear more. So it's all great stuff.
It expands our reach for sure.
Yes.
There was one other thing I did forget to talk about, which I'm really excited about, is this particular painting that's right here. It's called All American. Has been accepted into this is the National Oil and Acrylic Painters Society. It's been Oil Painters of America and Art Renewal, which is they're three huge shows. The last one being worldwide. This one has gotten an award and is in a show right now up in Indiana and just sold. And what the reason I bring this up is I feel like for me I'm reaching the art world too and making strides in a different world plus the train world, which is really good for the artwork. So I'm just really excited about how many times people are responding that have no connection with toy train collecting, but they're responding to the paintings from an artistic point of view. So I meant to tell you that before. So
Yeah.
thanks for letting me interject that.
and you do a great job actually, syncing the American tradition. Like you have a picture with a baseball mitt, the iconic sport and of the past, baseball, the American tradition with a I forgot the exact engine, but a beautiful Lionel steam engine. And so it's really great that you kind of get a little bit from both sides, and that's how this industry grows. It really is.
Thank you. I work hard at trying to tap a lot of heartstrings. So I appreciate you noticing them. Thank
you. That's great. And I believe we have Jeb, but I'm not sure if his video is working. Jeb, can you hear us?
Yes.
Halloween.
Let me kick you off one. I think you're on twice, so hold on one second.
I've been trying.
All right, can you hear us now?
Yes.
All right, we hear you. We can't see you, but maybe I could drive the throttle and you could maybe talk, I guess, somehow.
Well, I'll be happy to talk. I don't know why the camera is not working. We've never had a problem with it, but I have enjoyed listening to Tony and Angela and Hal and my friend Lou Palumbo,
The mayor.
the mayor, the mayor of the Purple Hall, and then the mayor of the Orange Hall.
That's right.
So it's always great to see all of you. Well, I will proceed with the sound only, I guess.
Just so you know, Jeb, I don't know if you could see us, but I brought up the products online that you sell, Mega Steam Smoke Fluid. So I'll let you take it from there. This way, I'll kind of bounce around on which item you talk about. So,
well, we broke the ceiling over the summer. We have 50 cents, 50 different cents for model railroaders to use in their smoke fluid. Everything from the Christmas pine, original cedar, which is like an American Flyer scent, coal fired, diesel for those who like the prototypical smells. And then we have a lot of others that are of interest. And there, people love every scent, or there's people who have their favorite scents of all the 50. But I was mentioning we broke the ceiling over the summer because I've been listening to customers. They've been talking about, well, we want something new. So for tonight and for York, we've come up with what we call our early releases of possible new scents. These scents will only be available to those who have tuned in to Trainland broadcast tonight. They will need to email us, and I'll provide the email address shortly. they need to mention Trainland in their email, and then they will be able to purchase these if they're not going to York. If they're going to York, they will be available. Now, it's not for everyone, but something new, something exciting. And I'll just start very briefly. Um, we have one called Magic Mint, and it is a really pleasant scent. I'm holding the bottle here, but obviously you can't see it. But it's a minty special for the holidays, and it may be of interest to people. We have another one that fits into the category of the prototypes. It's called Cinders, and it smells just like hot cinders. We've been able to take several steam excursions over the last several years, and we're always interested in getting up close and personal with the locomotive so we can try to capture some of those scents that the prototypical modelers like to have, like the coal-fired and the diesel and the big boy scent. Now we have Cinders, which smells like hot cinders. Then for Lou Palumbo and people out in the eastern part of Pennsylvania, we especially came up with this one. It's called Moonshine, and it has a special flavor to it.
Let me tell you something. Wait a minute. This you sold me this years ago, and I don't know if you could see it. I only have one bottle because I use it as beer. It says it's beer.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, it smells just like a bar room the next morning. You know, if you're going to a bar that people got drunk at night, and that raunchy smell of beer, this is it.
Well,
He has it, and I give it to people to smell. I said, "Look at this, your beer." I would never want that coming out of my steam engine, but it's a good. He's a good reproduction of smells.
Well,
Let's say that.
the Coors, Lou, the Coors Silver Bullet train is what inspired that.
I see.
When people open that train and it lets the smoke come out, they wanted it to smell like real
Perfect.
beer. So.
It's perfect. Smells just like beer. When I want to drink, I just take a little smell like this here. Oh boy, that's good.
Yeah. Jeb, do you put warnings on those? Do not drink this.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Very good point.
Instead of 18 years and older, it has to be Lou and above.
Yeah, right.
I'm a man child.
Yeah. Every once in a while, we'll get new scents from Jeb that we have in kalmbachhobbystore.com, and we'll go on trades.com and do kind of a smell off. We'll get a couple of locomotives and do 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 5 scents, and just smell them and kind of give our impressions of them. They're great. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you. We had fun making that beer scent. We actually asked for testers, and one of the responses, I may have told this story before, but I'll be real brief with it. Golden, Colorado texted us, and a group said they wanted to be our tester. So it ended up going to the Coors plant out there, and they had 100 of their professional sniffers test our smoke fluid. We sent them 3 different formulas that we had come up with that we thought would be pretty close, and they chose one. And Lou, that's the one that the Coors people chose. We actually became pretty good friends with them. They sent us a book about how the whole process takes place out in Coors, out in Golden, Colorado. So that was I had no idea that that's who that was at first, but and I was surprised that they had 100 professional sniffers. That you learn something new in the hobby all the time. Like Angela was saying, we just reach out. People don't know about trains really, or in a different occupation, and then several of those people were interested in where do you buy trains now. They had trains as children, and so I was able to encourage them to purchase from some of our large dealers like Trainland. Right, Ken?
That's right.
I'm not sure, but I think they still have their own railroad out there, as far as I know.
Yes.
Out at Coors.
Yes. Yeah. Very good point. We wanted something really special because our old rule is if she's not happy, you're not happy. And most people share their trains with other people in the house. So we came up with gourmet cookie, which is a really nice cookie smell that causes a lot of people to be very excited about running their trains and having that gourmet cookie, that cookie smell. I was loading our van for York, and we have been working hard to get all of our different scents loaded and so on. And a neighbor was walking by, walking their large dog, Lou, a big Labrador. And the Labrador came up to me. I've not seen this dog before, but he wanted to get in the van. And I guess it was the frying bacon or something that was getting him very, very interested. But he would not back away from the van.
That's funny.
But anyway, we haven't come up with dog food yet. But
Don't forget to mention your most popular in my store is nada.
yes,
That, and I don't know how you do that. Make something not smell of anything.
well,
But
it has special
it
ingredients
works.
so that people who are sensitive to the smell of smoke, you get a lot of smoke, but you don't have that smoky smell. So you know,
Nada.
that's become probably the in the top three that we sell because that pleases everyone
I sell a lot of it.
or most of them. Yes. Then another new one that we came out with is called Blue Spruce, and that takes the Christmas pine smell that we currently have. That's a big seller this time of the year to a new dimension because it actually smells like a blue spruce. If you want your train to smell even more Christmassy, Bruce. Excuse me. Now, these are going to be for sale on a limited basis at York, and we are going to have some tester bottles that we're trying this year. It's not uh, really advantageous to have all 50 bottles as testers because it just takes uh, a lot of space. But on these new ones, we are going to try the tester idea so people can actually smell it and appreciate the one they would like to have. And of course, if they go to York, they'll be able to purchase these. Excuse me. But as I mentioned earlier, the our website, our email is jkmegasteam@aol.com. That's jkmegasteam@aol.com. And if you mention Train World in your email, you will be able to purchase any of the scents that I described: the moonshine, the cinders, the mint, and the gourmet, and the spruce. And one that I just forgot to mention is Magic Gifts. That's frankincense and myrrh, which is a new one for the holidays. It's called Maggie Gifts,
Tell
just
Merck.
like the Magi gift. So we'll see how those go. If they sell really well, we probably will add them, although we're kind of staying in that 50 range because that satisfies almost everyone's interest. But we try to listen to customers, like all of you have mentioned in this evening's broadcast. We try to do what the customer would like us to do. We're currently in our 16th year of producing what we call the finest smoke fluid in the world. It's safe to use in all manufacturers, models. All this it works in N scale, even HO, uh, American Flyer, and all the O scale brands, the Lionel, the MTH. It's nice to have one that they can be used in all of those different smoke fluids and engines. So I think that probably concludes what I had. Sorry that for some reason we did not get the video part of it, but I appreciate you all listening, and I've enjoyed participating this evening.
Thanks so much, Jeb. And Jeb does a great job with smoke fluid. It's just always our go-to recommendation of choice, and I'm sure Lou's as well. But at trainworld.com, under brand Mega Steam Smoke Fluid, we carry all of his great products: bubblegum, Christmas berry, candy cane, campfire, cookie dough, diesel, gingerbread, maple, nata, original cedar. So many flavors and choices to choose from. And Jeb is a great ambassador of the hobby and always does a great job. So we appreciate him coming on tonight.
Yeah, I want to say flavors too, but kids, don't drink it.
That's right. That's right. And I guess I first I want to thank everyone for joining tonight. I really appreciate it. But this is really great to have everyone who we're used to seeing at York on tonight, and we really appreciate it. And Lou, it's always great to hear your stories. We love your stories and we appreciate it. But you're no longer the hall captain. What happened?
I'll tell you what happened on that. I got old. That hall's bigger than a football field. If you look at it, and then when you're the hall captain, you got to referee arguments or disputes and issues. And so you got to go from my table and walk all the way across. Here's two like arguing with idiots. The thing is, sometimes I have nothing to say. But the point is, I've done it for years. I was a hall captain 35 years ago into Purple Hall. I was there for a while with the chicken coops. And the thing is, when they moved to the Orange Hall, I asked the Yoes, who was the young one of their daughters used to run the show. I forget her name already. I do a lot of stuff. And anyhow, uh, she said, "You want to move?" I said, "Yeah, I want a hall with a bathroom. I'm tired of going right now. I'm on medication. I couldn't even do it. I'd be peeing my pants all the way over the place." But the thing is, I got in that hall when it first started, and I think years ago now, 15, 20 years ago. And it's been a lot of fun. I tell you what, running the hall, it hasn't been that much of a problem, but every once in a while you have to run a while. And I finally told him, listen, with the COVID and everything, I didn't go to 2 shows because we wanted to stay uh, social distancing, which is about 4.5 hour drive. That's enough distancing from there. And I just gave it up. I said, give it one of my guy that ran the Purple Hall, Kim Stevenson. He just took over my spot there, and I'm still going to come to York. Next, I'm planning on coming next April and peddling my book. But the thing is, seeing some of the old friends, and I'll bring some trains. I used to run 14 tables of trains. I had helpers. That was a lot of work. So at this point in time, I had some knee issues, back issues. I just said, let it go. And I'm going to miss it, let me tell you, because there's a lot of people, and a lot of people have called me and tell me they go there just to look. If you came to my table at York, it was just like a bunch of flies around a piece of candy.
You know, Lou.
You like my
Lou,
anyhow, yes.
this is Jeb. Just wanted to say I started with you as the mayor, and you were a terrific mayor for all those years. Uh, I think you had the wisdom of Solomon, and you were very, very fair, which is something that we really appreciate in today's world. You always looked at both sides of the situation, and I know I brought you a couple issues, things that I saw that needed to have your attention, and you handled them in such a fair way that really is a compliment to the TCA and the people that are responsible for the show every time. But Lou, I just want to say thank you because you made it a great show by being such a fair hall captain.
Well, thank you, Jeb. But there's no secret to what I do. It's an old thing you say, you treat other people like you want to be treated. Very simple. And if people would live with that particular credo, then a lot of problems would be solved. You look at something and say, now, how would I want to be treated this way? And in my job as public welfare administrator, and I had hundreds of people work for me with different, same thing. How do you want to be treated? And that's how I did it. And sometimes people didn't like the fairness because they wanted you to be unfair to them. That's the problem. You just can't do that. You got to know how to say no sometimes. But
That's right.
it's been a lot of fun.
Well, Lou, we thank you for your service, and we always appreciate having you on. And we're gonna have Lou on at 6 to discuss his stories about the hop. I'm just kidding, you, Lou. But,
Say good night, Gracie.
But seriously, it's always great to have everyone on. You could help support our guest tonight. Lou has some great books that you could go out and get. Tony, Model Railroad News is a great magazine. Make sure you subscribe. Jeb Kriegel has some great smoke fluid. We actually do carry his product at trainworld.com. All the Mega Steam flavors and scents that you need for your engines. Classic Toy Trains is a great O-scale magazine if you're looking to learn or even reminisce about the past days, and with some articles of Lou once in a while. And Angela Trotta Thomas, she does some unbelievable painting. So if you're looking to maybe do a custom painting, or perhaps maybe just want a Lionel boxcar of her work, she has it all. So I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight for the kickoff of the event. But throughout the whole week, we're going to be doing all different events. Tomorrow night at, I believe, 6 p.m., we have Influencer Night. Then the following nights, we have a different manufacturer each night: Lionel, MTH, Williams, Atlas. So action-packed week of O-Gauge excitement. So be sure you stay tuned and follow up on all these great events. And I just want to mention that we are having a sale, which you could probably take advantage of some of Angela's product, or even some Mega Steam smoke fluid. But if you go to our homepage, we are doing a mega sale, O-scale S and tin plate. So click on there for the actual details. But we do carry all of that. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. And I'll leave last minute words, go around the horn, and let everyone say their goodbyes.
Ken, thanks so much. Great tonight. Tomorrow night we got with the influencers with layout tours.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
And that, I think, is what, 6 Eastern, 5. Look on Train World's Facebook page. I got to remember, but Ken and I'll be there tomorrow evening. We got a bunch of folks. Yeah.
Very cool.
I just want to say that, Ken, we're so thrilled that you started doing these. I know COVID was the beginning of these, but I'm so glad that you're still doing them, because I think that we do reach so many people that we might not otherwise. And I'm always honored to be part of this Zoom world of yours.
Thank you so much, Angela.
You want me to go last?
Yes.
I will
Yes.
go last. But
Yes.
Hal, I'll go ahead, Hal.
All right. Well,
Goodbye.
Ken, thank you for having Classic Toy Trains on. Appreciate it, and it's always a treat to be with all of you. It's always good to see you guys, whether it's in person or on here. And I hope we get a chance to cross paths again real soon.
Thanks,
Ken, I want to thank you for letting me participate with these great people that we had on tonight. And I just want to wish everyone a very happy train season.
Okay, there's no train season, Jeb. Now it's all year long. Used to be one. If you'd have come here earlier, you'd have found that out. But I'll
Right,
forgive
Lou.
you. You're getting ready to go to the show. I understand it. But
Thanks.
no, Kenny, I want to thank you and your dad and everybody to put this thing on. It's a nice thing to have to help the industry and the hobby and people in general. And anytime you want to have me on, feel free. If you got an extra hour, you got nothing to do, you come and see me because we'll talk. And I want to tell everyone that this train hobby is not dying. It's not gone. It's just changing. And it will change. They're going to throw all these trains away. Somebody has to. They ask me all the time, what are you going to do all this stuff when you're gone? I said, when I'm gone, who cares? Somebody will get it. I'm not worried about it. That's the last thing I'm doing, go to sleep at night worrying about my train. I go to sleep happy I have them. That's all. In fact, I sleep with a couple of them. Put them in there. I like them. So anyhow, I'm glad to share this with you guys, and I'll bid everybody adieu. If you see me on the street, say hello.
Well said, Lou. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining, and make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the week. Thank you. Have a great night, and take care.
Bye.
Goodbye.